Good evening, Texas AFT members. This is your president, Zeph Capo, and I'm coming to you live from my backyard. Here today to talk about funding, in particular, the American Rescue Plan funding to deal with the COVID virus, the pandemic issues that we've all been suffering from. And I've got a lot of great talking points that staff have put together, and I want to say thank you to them for that. But I can't promise I'm going to follow all of them because, like many of you, I'm angry. I'm angry when I have to have conversations with our members and staff about people who've passed away on their campus due to COVID. I'm angry when we have a state TEA agency who tells parents across the state to send their kids back to school to take a test that they can't even figure out how to deliver. And I'm angry because all of these things have the funding available to help mitigate and make this easier and make this better on our students, on our members, on our educators, on our parents, on our communities, that is sitting in a vault somewhere in the state of Texas not being used. Almost, I think the number is $18 billion. $17.9 billion, billion with a B, that has been allocated by our Congress for the state of Texas to give to schools to address the COVID pandemic. The American Rescue Plan was just recently passed by President Biden and his administration. That plan in and of itself sent $12.4 billion to the state of Texas. The problem that we have is before Biden even got there, the previous administration, Trump and others, and Congress that was in place passed two COVID relief acts. The first one, $1.3 billion, that schools for the most part didn't see a dime of. Yeah, we got an opportunity to get a few expenses reimbursed if school districts could get the receipts to TEA before the money ran out. But by and large, most of that money stayed at the state and has not been released to schools to deal with this pandemic. They bought us some PPE. They did do some of that. But by and large, most of that money stayed at TEA. The second COVID Relief Act was passed, and that sent $5.5 billion to Texas months ago, many months ago, long before the American Relief Act was passed. To date, the government of the state of Texas and our legislature, who is sitting in Austin right now, passing more ridiculous laws, probably making things worse and not better, still have not decided what to do with that $5.5 billion. So when you add that up with the 12.4 that just came through to really take action to make things better, that's how you get to almost $18 billion. Yet we have school districts talking about layoffs. Yet we have school districts spending money that they would have spent on salaries, on students, on classrooms. They're having to spend on extra staffing for cleaning, supplies for COVID, distancing, and what have you. All the things that those COVID dollars were allocated for in the first place. Ladies and gentlemen, I am somebody who believes that government can work. I believe that public officials, for the most part, are there trying to do the right thing for the people that they represent. Heck, I was an elected official at one point too, back in Houston, before I came to this job. So I take it really seriously when people make comments about public officials, about our state government, about, what's behind these kind of things, because it's really easy. It's easy for us to get angry. It's easy for people to say they're corrupt, it's this, it's that, and another, because they may pass policies we don't necessarily like. But this is beyond that. We are literally at the point now, I don't think you can say anything else other than they are stealing from children. They may as well be taking the lollipop out of the baby's mouth themselves right now. when you have $18 billion that is being held not to directly take care of what it was supposed to be intended for, but to take care of their mistakes, to take care of their budget overruns, to take care of the fact that they did not make sure that there was funding to continue paying the bills. We shouldn't have to use this COVID dollars for the hold harmless. We shouldn't have to use these COVID dollars to make up for losses elsewhere. We certainly should not be using dollars for schools to pay for their mess ups with the electric grid in the state of Texas. Heck, they got more dollars on top of our school dollars for state and local municipalities from the federal government. Use those dollars that were coming from the state if that's what you need to do. Because we have serious issues in our schools. I want to take a minute. For those of you that may be in McAllen, what this means is there is $126.8 million sitting in Austin that could be available for your district to help keep you and your students safe. In Dallas, $866 million is allocated for Dallas ISD. Call Eddie Bernice Johnson. Call your VC. Call your congressional leaders up there. They voted in favor of these dollars to help your schools, but they're not getting where they need to be because they're being held in Austin. In Houston, where I come from, in our school district, over $1 billion has been allocated that should belong to the district. We should not be talking about layoffs. We should not be talking about salary freezes. We should not be talking about hiring freezes right now because they had to divert those dollars to dealing with COVID. Not when there's $1 billion that have been allocated for that one school district to help them deal with their kids. Fine. If we needed to take some of it to address needs at the state, we're in it together. We understand that. But this is by and large beyond what anybody even considered. I nearly lost my mind whenever they held on to the first pandemic response, the $1.3 billion. I don't even know what to think at this point when we have $18 billion out there not getting to our schools. We've got to talk to our congressional leaders. We have to talk to our state leaders. The congressional leaders who passed this bill need to put pressure on our state leaders to release the money, to stop the swap, to get it to our schools. We need your help. You can help us by going to our campaigns page, sending a letter to your elected official. Take action today. Stop the swap. That's what you need to tell your elected official, your senator, your state rep. They need to put pressure on TEA. They need to put pressure on the governor's office. Send your letter to the governor. Send your letter to the lieutenant governor. They have to know that people are listening because they don't care how loud my voice is if your voice is not backing it up. Because, see, they're concerned about you. They're concerned about the voters in their district. That's who they need to hear from. We're not in this alone. We're fighting with every ally we can. We had parents that were going to be on with us tonight, but they ran into some other issues. But there are parents, allies out there fighting. There are people looking at organizations like Raise Your Hand that are out there fighting this issue. We're not fighting this alone, but we certainly have to do our share to make sure that these dollars get released and sent to our schools. We're going to continue pushing this message forward. Tomorrow night, I'm going to guest star with Representative Sylvia Garcia, one of those politicians that I as more than just a politician to me, she's family, somebody who voted and advocated and fought for us to have these dollars to have relief from this pandemic. We're doing a town hall tomorrow night so that our citizens in Houston know that there's $1 billion out there allocated for them that is not being used. Please join us. If you're not a member of Congressional District 29, come join us and hear the conversation and share with your congressional rep. Share with them your feelings about what's happening or not happening here in Austin right now. Share with your parents. Share with your community members. Share with your family members. The link to send their letters, the link to make those calls, because this is going to take all of us to move them to action. I want to thank everybody out there for signing on today. I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for being a part of our family, a part of our union family, fighting each and every day to make things better for our students, better for our members, better for our communities. We certainly can't do this without you, and that's why your voice is so very important in this issue. If you're on social media, #StopTheSwap. You can find out all kinds of information. Make sure that your voice is heard and included by hashtagging #StopTheSwap. Send your letters today. Stay in touch with your union. If you have more questions about your specific district, please contact your local union office or your local union rep. I saw several of them who have been on this tonight, putting in the dollars for their specific districts. They have that information, and they can help you continue to organize to fight to make sure the leadership in the state of Texas does right by our schools. It is time to stop the swap. It is time to make sure these pandemic dollars go to where they were needed, to make sure that we have staffing in place, to make sure that we can safely return to school, to make sure that we can do the testing that's necessary to ensure safety for our students and our members. Thank you for joining us today. I believe that we have a final slide with the information on Stop the Swap. Take care and enjoy.